Right guys, welcome back to another episode of Matt TV. Today we've got Wayne's supercharged Mustang GT with us. We're fitting a dual pass heat exchanger from Whipple and a CSF aluminium radiator. Once these are fitted and it's all installed on the car, we're going to get the car back on the dyno and then give the tune a little tweak and see if we can gain a little bit more power out of this. So this is a stock heat exchanger. As you can see, if we compare the two, this is actually twice the thickness, so it's a dual pass. So basically this is two of them put together, so it passes back twice. So what this does, it cools the actual air charge into the engine, so you get much cooler intake temps and a lot denser air, which obviously supercharged and turbocharged engines like to have cool air. So with this on the car, we might be able to get like an extra couple of degrees of timing or something. We might be able to pick up some decent gains. With it being pretty cold today, we probably should be able to see some good, nice cool intake temps. To be honest, the stock heat exchanger does do pretty well as a stock component for the Whipple superchargers, but then as soon as you put these on, it's just an whole different level. So we'll get this on. And we're doing the CSF aluminium radiator as well, so it should be all in all running very cool intake side and the coolant side. So yeah, we'll get these on, get the car at dyno, we'll see what the intake temps are and the coolant temps, and then we'll be tweaking the tune a little bit to suit this new heat exchanger. So we should see some good results. So the heat exchanger and the radiator are in now. The heat exchanger are a bit of a nightmare to fit because we've got the thicker actual coolant radiator and the dual pass heat exchanger. We didn't really have much room, and then to add to that, we've got the external oil cooler mounted to the crash bar, which didn't give us much room to get this heat exchanger actually fitted to the car. So to make up some brackets and stuff and do a bit of wiggling, we've got it to fit just about. So it's all back up and running, full of coolant. We're going to do his last checks and stuff, make sure that all the levels are all right, and then we're going to get it off the ramp into the dyno cell and run it up and give it a quick tweak of the tune, and see if we can make any extra power from these little cooling upgrades. Right, so we've finished tuning Wayne's car after we've fitted the dual pass heat exchanger and the CSF radiator. We've actually found some interesting data on the car once we had it on the dyno and started doing some tuning and stuff. We ran it up, the intake temps were like half as cool as what they are with a stock Whipple heat exchanger. and coolant temps are like sit about 92 even under full throttle on Dynos, so it's staying nice and cool. But where we expected to pick up some ignition timing, we looked like we're still pretty knock limited on the engine. So we thought because we were getting the cooler intake temps, we could have added 1, maybe 2 more degrees of ignition timing, which can be 20 to 40 wheel horsepower at times. What we did, Karen and Dyno did a base run, collected some data, started optimising the ignition timing and stuff, but then we did find that the ECU was just pulling the ignition timing straight back out. So if we were requesting 13 degrees, it was pulling 1-2 degrees at top end every time. Through the mid-range, it would take in the timing that we were requesting happily, but then once it got up to the top end, once we were getting some heat in the exhaust and stuff, it would pull in 2 degrees at the top end. So as a little test, we thought it'd be good to put some boost in, octane boost in the tank, which actually raises the octane of the fuel by up to 5 points. So raising the octane of the fuel in theory should fix this knock. That rules out any false knock like an exhaust banging under the car, or bad fuel or a bad spark plug or whatever. And as soon as we stuck the boost aid in it, that was our test to see if that engine was to its limit basically. With it being a 12 to 1 compression engine, you are limited to how far you can go with the power. Whereas the previous Gen 2 Coyote, they're 11 to 1 compression. We've come to the conclusion that the 12 to 1 compression engines are at their limits at stage 2 Whipple. Pushing them any further than that, you are risking quite a lot. And if you are going to do that, you'd probably want to build the engine or run it on methanol injection or boosting at all times. So although we didn't make any more power, the car's going to feel faster more of the time in all conditions, and we're going to look at doing a forged engine build on this car anyway. So we will be dropping the compression back to 11 to 1, which basically will take the lid off the Gen 3 Coyote, and we'll be able to start making that 900, 1000 horsepower like we do with the Gen 2 Coyote. So that's it.